This is my success, you can't take it.
It doesn't belong here!
You know, there are those pivotal moments in life that should be nothing but sheer, unadulterated bliss. For me, that was meant to be the day my dream car rolled into my driveway. Not just any car, a Ferrari SF90 Stradale, the kind I'd fantasized about since I was a teenager staring at glossy posters in my bedroom. It was a beast of engineering, all sleek lines and raw power, painted in a fiery red that seemed to pulse under the sunlight. I'd clawed my way through years of relentless hustle-long nights in a cramped apartment, surviving on coffee and takeout, building a software startup from a single idea that everyone dismissed as a pipe dream. Rejections, failures, pivots, the all piled up, but then it exploded. The app went viral, investors poured in, and suddenly, I could exhale. I bought the house first, playing it safe like my parents always preached. A stately colonial in Willowbrook Estates, one of those upscale suburbs outside Chicago where the lawns are impeccably trimmed, the driveways spotless, and everything whispers old money. I was the new face in town, the only African-American homeowner on the block, which came with its own undercurrents, the overly cheerful hellos that felt scripted, the quick glances that lingered a beat too long. But the house was my haven, a place to finally root down after years of wandering. The Ferrari's arrival was like a personal holiday. It came on a flatbed, shrouded in a protective cover like some priceless artifact. The driver, a burly guy with a warm handshake, eased it down carefully, and when he whipped off the tarp, that Rosso Corsa red gleamed like a ruby. I stood there, mesmerized, tracing the curves with my fingers, inhaling the scent of fresh leather and high-performance promise. It wasn't just a car, it was proof I'd beaten the odds, a roaring testament to every skeptic who'd doubted me. I tipped the driver generously, watched him drive off, and for those first few minutes, it was perfection. Then the whispers started. Curtains fluttered in windows across the street. Mr. Thompson from number 42 pretended to water his hydrangeas, but his eyes were locked on my driveway. I waved, friendly as always, but the response was tepid, a nod here, a hasty retreat there. The air felt thicker, like I'd introduced a wild stallion into a pasture of show ponies. I knew the talk would follow. I was the young tech guy, the outsider, and now with a car that screamed success louder than anything in this quiet enclave. But I shrugged it off, climbing inside, the gull-wing doors lifting dramatically. The cockpit hugged me like it was custom-made. I gripped the wheel, savoring the moment, convinced nothing could spoil it. That's when she appeared, striding down the sidewalk with the determination of a drill sergeant, clipboard in hand, was Mrs. Eleanor Hargrove, the iron-fisted president of the Willowbrook Estates Homeowners Association. Late 50s, with a bob of platinum hair that defied gravity, dressed in crisp khakis and a polo shirt that screamed country club. I'd heard the warnings from my realtor: keep the hedges at exactly 2 feet, no holiday lights past January 1st, or face her wrath. She halted at my property line, eyes narrowing at the Ferrari like it was a graffiti tag on her pristine world. She circled it slowly, lips pursed, even dragging a finger along the hood as if inspecting for contraband. I stepped out, flashing my best neighborly smile. Good afternoon. Isn't she a beauty? She removed her designer shades, her gaze appraising me like a suspect in a lineup. Her voice was clipped, laced with disdain. I'm not certain how individuals like yourself come by such extravagant displays, but this vehicle clearly disrupts our community's refined character. It draws undesirable eyes. Individuals like yourself. The words hung there, sharp as a blade. My pulse quickened, but I kept my cool. What do you mean by individuals like yourself? She waved it off dismissively. Don't play coy. This is a family-friendly haven of decorum. We uphold standards. A car this flashy, with the racket it must make, doesn't fit our ethos. She tapped her clipboard authoritatively. As HOA president, it's my duty to safeguard property values and tranquility. I took a steadying breath, reminding myself this was just posturing. It's parked on my property, fully legal, and I won't be revving it at dawn. No disturbance intended. She let out a humorless chuckle. Intentions are irrelevant. It's garish, attention-seeking. And per our guidelines, any specialty vehicle requires submission to the HOA's Design and Harmony Committee for review color, silhouette, even noise levels. I blinked, incredulous. You're kidding. This isn't a fence or a patio. It's my personal car. I never jest about regulations, she snapped. Until the committee assesses it, we'll need to sequester the vehicle for investigation. Sequester? It hit Mesh was trying to confiscate my car right there, armed only with her self-importance and a stack of papers. The euphoria of the day evaporated, replaced by a simmering anger. You're not laying a hand on it, I stated flatly, positioning myself between her and the Ferrari. You lack any legal grounds. Her face twisted in outrage, finger jabbing accusingly. Defying an HOA directive? There are repercussions, fines, liens. We enforce harmony here. I cross my arms. I've reviewed the bylaws cover to cover. Nothing about vehicle colors or impoundment. This is fabrication. Her cheeks flushed crimson. She wasn't accustomed to pushback. The committee holds broad powers over aesthetic cohesion. This red eyesore is a blatant violation. The standoff intensified, her voice rising to a shrill pitch that echoed down the block. You will comply, or face the consequences. I turned away, heading inside, but she wasn't done. Don't dismiss me. I demand respect. From my window, I watched her dial furiously, pacing like a predator. Dread knotted in my gut. This wasn't ending quietly. Minutes later, a patrol SUV from Willowbrook Security arrived, 2 guards stepping out, a lanky kid fresh out of high school and an older man with a weary mustache. Mrs. Hargrove barked orders, gesturing wildly. The older guard shifted uncomfortably. Ma'am, towing from private property? That seems off. But she threatened their jobs, and reluctantly, they blocked the driveway. I emerged again. This is trespassing. She smirked. HOA enforcement. I called the police, detailing the attempted theft. The responding officer, a rookie with a stern demeanor, listened to her spin it as a routine bylaw issue, then turned to me. Sir, this is civil. Sort it with the board. Bias hung in the air, saw her as the upstanding local, me as the agitator. He left without intervening, emboldening her. The tow truck rumbled in, a grimy rig that clashed with the suburb's polish. I filmed everything, the guard's shame, her triumph, the driver hooking up my Ferrari with care, aware of its value. As it was hauled away, the injustice burned like acid. Neighbors watched silently, their inaction a silent complicity. Alone in my empty driveway, I contacted my attorney, Mr. David Klein, recounting the ordeal. Send the video, he urged. While it uploaded, I accessed the Ferrari's app. GPS showed it not at an impound, but at a mansion in a ritzy enclave nearby. Property records confirmed it was hers. Rage turned to resolve. Then, the remote audio feed, voices in her garage. Mom, is that the one? A man's voice, her son. Spectacular, isn't it? The club will be stunned. You pulled it off? He won't trace it. Please, he's just some upstart. By show's end, it'll be back post-review. No proof. The pieces clicked. She hadn't seized it for rules. She wanted to parade it at a luxury auto exhibition as her own, a status boost for her and her son. The pettiness was staggering, not just control or prejudice, but envy-fueled theft. I forwarded the audio decline. This is felony theft. We're escalating to state police. His plan: let her proceed, then strike at the event for maximum exposure. The Willow Creek Auto Gala was an elite affair at a sprawling golf club, vintage classics and exotics on display amid champagne and schmoozing. We coordinated with detectives, warrant in hand. I arrived incognito, spotting my Ferrari roped off, Mrs. Hargrove in an elegant ensemble, regaling admirers with tales of its prowess. Her son, Andrew, beamed beside her. I watched her bask in stolen glory, every fawning comment fueling my patience. At peak crowd, I approached. Is this your car? Shock rippled across her face. Leave, or I'll call security. I activated the app. The lights flashed, horn beeped. Gasps erupted. Detectives emerged, badges flashing. Warrant for grand theft. Panic set in. She bolted clumsily, but was cuffed amid the spectacle. Phones captured her downfall, her facade crumbling. Driving my Ferrari home, engine purring triumphantly, felt like reclaiming my soul. The fallout was swift. She pled guilty to grand theft, dodging jail with probation, fines, and service hours. Her social standing shattered. The HOA board collapsed, a new one reformed, apologizing and covering my fees. I sued civilly, settling for a substantial sum. channeling it into the Neighborhood Equity Foundation, aiding HOA abuse victims. Willowbrook transformed, rigid rules eased, diversity bloomed. The Ferrari became a beacon of change, kids admiring it, neighbors warming genuinely. But peace proved fleeting. A year later, a lavish envelope arrived, a cease and desist from a powerhouse firm, targeting my foundation for exploiting her fragile mental state. It was Andrew's Doina slap suit to bankrupt me via endless litigation, paired with a PR blitz recasting her as a dementia-afflicted victim, me as the exploiter. Neighborhood whispers returned, funding dipped. Doubt crept in during sleepless nights. But we countered, investigating Andrew's condo project. Evidence emerged, embezzlement, siphoning investor funds for his vendetta. We presented it to his partners. They forced his retreat. Lawsuit dropped, retraction issued. Resilience won again. In the end, success isn't the car or house sites defending your ground against injustice. The Ferrari's roar now echoes endurance. My community thrives, a testament to standing firm. What do you think about the themes of injustice and subtle violence in everyday power struggles like this? Share your opinions in the comments. Do you side with fighting back publicly or handling it quietly? Let's hear your stance and experiences.